Hello and welcome to another episode of My Backstage Pass. This is your host, Lee Zimmerman, with my producer, co-host, and good buddy, Billy Hubbard. And today we're really excited to have a special guest. Charlie Overbey is joining us. Charlie, hello.
Hey, guys. Hey, thanks for having me.
Charlie, you're a multitasker because you have dual careers. You make hats for the rich and famous and the stars. Well, you do.
Well,
and then you're a musician yourself, right?
He'll make some for us too. We're not. He's making one for us.
Is that part of the perk here, Billy?
I don't think. I wouldn't go
Billy's
that
saying
far.
Part of the perk is that we
you
get free
never
samples.
know.
You know,
Just never know.
we have Billy's head, so.
I try to stay real busy, and playing music is not always the most profitable adventure, and I started making hats a long time ago, really like back in '91.
Wow.
And then through the different stages, I've made different types of hats, and back in like, I don't know, I guess probably 97, 96, 97, 98, I was doing a lot of like cowpunk kind of style hats. And then I just kind of, I always just did them for myself, really. And then I didn't do any for a long time. And then one day my gal said, "You need to make some money, man." And
yeah.
So what can you do besides singing and writing songs and getting out there and making a mess of yourself? And I said, "Well, I can make hats." And
look, not everybody can say that. That's
right.
Kind of different.
Yeah.
And she kind of had that same reaction. And so anyway, she had opened a store. She had been doing vintage for a long time already, and she had opened a store and over in Highland Park out in California. And she said, "Well, make a couple hats, then we'll put them in the shop and see what happens." So I made a couple of hats, and she put them up on her whatever her social media thing was at that time. And my now good buddy Charlie Starr from Blackberry Smoke,
Oh yeah,
apparently had seen this post of these hats, and he reached out and said, "Hey man, I don't know if you know my band or not, but I got this band called Blackberry Smoke, and I was wondering if you could make me a couple of hats." And it was an incredible occurrence, really. I mark it up to divine architecture, because I had been hip to Blackberry Smoke for a little while, and my gal actually was hip to them before I was, and she said, "You got to see this band." And we watched one of those Austin City Limits with Blackberry Smoke on it, and I was like, "Man, this band is incredible. I got to get on the road somehow with this band." And so that was a really strange occurrence of Charlie reaching out. But anyway, I made a couple of hats for Charlie, and then a few months later, we were on the road with Blackberry Smoke, which was incredible. But once I made those hats for Charlie, and decided, okay, shit, I better come up with a name for this outfit. So I come up with Lone Hawk hats, and
it sounds Western. It sounds very Western. Yeah.
And so I was actually earlier on going to call my band that, and because I was like, "Oh man, Neil Young and Crazy Horse, that's pretty cool." I was thinking maybe I'll call it Charlie Overbey and Lone Hawk.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
And I didn't end up using that, but then when I was looking for a name for the hats, I was like, "Shit, Lone Hawk that's a good name, man." So anyway, it kind of snowballed, and people saw Charlie in the hats, and Charlie was talking about where the hats came from. And then all of a sudden I was making hats for Marcus King. And then I was making hats for, Chris from the Black Crows. And then, and on top of that, I mean, I make hats for a lot of us normal blue collar type folks as well. I mean, it's not just for the rich and famous. But yeah, I mean, it really built into a fast growing brand very quickly. And this was back before the crazy hat phase kind of kicked in. Luckily, I mean, I feel very lucky that I started it when I did, because there's a lot of people doing it now. But it turned out to be a real blessing in disguise. And I met a lot of beautiful people along the way through it. And it's been a win-win, especially during that pandemic, man, when we couldn't tour.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we were all kind of like, what the hell are we going to do? And I had the hats to fall back on, and it was incredible. And there was, that provided us a platform as well during COVID to do some philanthropy and raise some money for Navajo Nation. And we put together a record called Me and My Guitar of a bunch of people, that wear Lone Hawks and stuff. And we all did singles and did this thing for Save Our Stages. And that's where the Ode to John Prine song actually came in as well, was during the pandemic. So, there was some silver linings in that time frame, I'd say.
So the song for John Prine was after he passed? Was it sort of in memoriam sort of thing?
Yeah, it was such a crazy time. And, not to get too deep into all of that, but, everyone was kind of on one side or the other. This is real or this isn't real. And I had already lost a couple of friends real early on. And so, when John Prine passed away, that was really the big one that was kind of like, wow.
Right.
Yeah. We just lost John Prine.
Yeah.
There's no denying that this thing will take people out. And so yeah, the night that John Prine died, I sat down and wrote that tune or a lot of that tune. I don't think I ripped it out in 40 minutes or anything, but it was one of those kind of magic ones that comes out quickly and naturally. And I wrote it and I sat on it for a little while. And a couple of days later, I reached out to my buddy Jimmy Vivino, and I said, "Hey Jimmy, I wrote this pretty good tune, I think, and we might be able to, maybe raise a little bit of money with it or something for some needy folks out there." And it's an ode to John Prine. It's actually called Ode to John Prine. And he said, "Well, send it over. I'd love to hear it." So I sent it over to Jimmy, and I figured he'd probably call me. Jimmy's pretty good at getting back. Usually it takes a day or 2 days. He's a pretty busy cat.
He's a very famous producer, isn't he?
Well, Jimmy's kind of all over the place. I mean, he's such an incredible player, and he's been around a long time. He played with a lot of folks, and he was the musical director for Conan O'Brien, I want to say, for 20 years or something.
Yeah.
So Jimmy knows everybody. I mean, Jimmy played with Levon Helm.
Right.
I mean, he's been around the block 150 times.
Yeah.
So Jimmy called me back very quickly. I mean, I don't even think it was the next day. I think he called me back within about an hour or 2 hours, and he said, "Charlie, this song is great." And I said, "You think so?" And he goes, "Oh man, I love it." He goes, "I'll tell you what, we'll do one of those things. Obviously, we can't get everybody into the studio right now, because this is really at a time when, especially in California, we were locked down, man. There was no leaving the pad.
Wow.
We were having our groceries delivered and washing our groceries outside.
Right.
I mean, it was crazy. But so I'm going to put together a rhythm section, and I'll give you a holler back. You start thinking about maybe, you know, who you might want to have sing on it with you or something, and I'll hit you back. And I said, okay. So he called me back real quick, man, and he said, okay, so I got Steve Ferroni from Tom Petty that is going to play drums. And then my buddy Daryl Jones from the Rolling Stones is going to play bass.
Sure.
And,
Wow.
And I was, you know, at that point, my mouth was so far open, I think it was touching the ground.
Cool.
And I was like, are you serious? And he goes, yeah. And I reached out to Benmont too.
Wow.
Benmont Tench.
Sure.
And he said, I think Benmont might play some organ on it. And so yeah. And you know, I was just blown away. It was not a feeling I can really explain, because I've never, I mean, I've known some heavy cats, and you know, but I've never been blessed enough to play on a record with dudes like that. And so, you know, we got off the phone, and I was, you know, kind of pinching myself, and anyway, I made a call to my friend LP. I don't know if you know her or not, but she is just a phenomenal singer. And she was a big singer-songwriter for other people for a long time. And then she, you know, somehow her career just took off. And like in Europe, she's massive, man. She plays arenas, and, you know, she does well here in the States too, but over in Europe and in Mexico, and I mean, she's just huge. And I always say she's like all four Beatles, Rolling Stones, and Madonna all put into one little package.
She's all four Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and Madonna. You're kind of putting her on a high plateau there, son. Wow.
She's a real badass. I mean, she's really, really a badass.
And what's her name? LP? Is there?
Yep.
LP.
Yep. LP, like the record. It's just LP.
Oh yeah,
the initials LP.
I've heard her music because my daughter listens to her, and
really,
she turned me on to it, and I said, "That's what I said." I said, "What did you say?"
Yeah,
wow.
I mean,
I'm out of touch.
And she's as cool as she is. You know, I mean, she's really like, I don't really know how to say it. She's one of the dudes, you know. Yeah. And
well, she is. She's all four Beatles and all 5 Rolling Stones, so she is one of the. I mean, she's many of the. She dudes, is. Yeah.
And Madonna in her head.
Yeah, and Madonna too. Yeah.
Yeah, and really, she's, you know, she parties like Keith Richards used to, and
really?
You know, I mean, she's all the way around. She's the full ticket.
We got to meet her, Billy. This sounds like a fun person to hang out with.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
make a note of that.
You really do.
Well,
you really do.
I think maybe we should listen to the tune then. This Your Road to John Prine. What do you say, Billy?
Yeah, I said let's listen to a little bit of it. And and I want. And by the way, I was going to give a shout to our friend Donna Sue Roberts. She did turn me on to this song. This is the first time I really was listening to some of your music, man, and it's really
cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Donna.
Then I saw you had another one, but I don't know. Yeah, you got another great new single. But yeah, here we go. Let's check it out.
Right on.
One coming, couldn't read the signs. The higher ups, they said ain't so, but I can read between the lines. My friend's a non-believer, says that none of it's real. Come November, we'll be missing more than ever how the high of a concert feels. Take me to another place. Take me to another time. Tell me that we're going out tonight to see Sometimes I wanna just scream, nowhere to run and hide. Girl, you can change the world, heal the great divide. My friend's an anti-vaxxer, says it'll soon be gone. Me, I'm an anti-taxer, I've been running for way too long. Take me to another place, take me to another time. Tell me that we're going out tonight to see John Prine. Come on home, stay with me. There's a brand new angel in Montgomery. Come on home to the promise of something real. Comes a time when we must reinvent the wheel. Come
Wow, that is a great. I can see why he was so impressed by that.
Oh, thanks, man.
Music video is great too, by the way. I was admiring that. That music video is really cool.
Right.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that
And I
later.
see Rami Jaffe from the Jacob Dylan's band is on there as well, and yeah, you got
Yeah,
some cool
yeah,
people
he,
playing with you there.
Yeah, he was in that Wallflowers band, but he's
Yeah.
also in that little band, the Foo Fighters.
Oh yes, that's true. Yeah, you got some heavyweights on there, but that song, I mean, that certainly shines, man. I mean,
Thank you.
I'm curious now. How many albums do you have, Charlie?
I did an EP. I mean, I've made a lot of records,
Okay.
through the years with different bands, and I was in this cowpunk band, Custom Made Scare, and we did some records, and I've made a lot of records over the years. But as far as like being a singer songwriter solo quotations guy,
Yeah.
I did a record in 2016, which was my EP,
Okay.
and
What was that called?
and then that was called The California Kid.
Okay.
And then in 2018, I released Broken Arrow, which was my first full length, and my buddy Ted Hutt produced it,
Right.
who also did Ode to John Prine. And then so I was kind of on course to do a record every 2 years, and 2018, when that record came out, it was great because it kind of took off, and we were playing, all the big festivals and playing with the Foo Fighters and Willie, and
Wow.
I mean, all kinds of great stuff. And then, I was right on schedule to make my record in 2020 or 2020, and Shazam, the pandemic hit, and that just kind of put the kibosh on the whole thing.
Right.
So, I kind of, I had started doing the record, and so it was kind of in the can, but we couldn't really get in to finish it. And at that point, that's when we did, Ode to John Prine, and I went in and started tracking the record, but
Right.
it just kind of got the brakes put on it. So, I'm finishing that new record right now. It's called Saturday Nights and Sunday Mornings.
And when do we think we're gonna be able to see that one?
Well, I was hoping it was going to come out in March, but now it's kind of looking a little slanted as well, because it never moves as quickly as I'd like it to. And we moved to this ranch out in New Mexico just over a year ago, and I mean, man, I don't know if you ever had the responsibility of taking care of an off-grid 40-acre ranch by yourself.
Well, not off the cuff, I can't say. Maybe back in the day. Maybe, well, okay. It was a 35-acre ranch, and no, I'm just kidding. Never. No, I can't imagine.
Sounds good,
It's a lot
Sounds
to
exciting.
deal with.
Yeah.
I mean, for a city guy, I was born and raised in Los Angeles. So moving out, we couldn't wait to get out of there, honestly. And by the time we did get out of there and get over here, we didn't take into account, how beautiful and insane living off grid is.
Now, when you say moving off grid, does that mean you have to supply your own electricity? And what exactly does that entail?
Yeah, we're pretty much completely self-sustainable. We
really
run. Yeah, our water comes from a well. We're right off of the Galisteo Basin, just south of Santa Fe. So all of our water comes up out of a well, and then all of our power is solar.
Wow, that's remarkable.
That's seriously off the grid.
Yeah,
it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. But have you been affected by any of that crazy weather out there that we've been reading about?
Yeah, man. Right now it's 32 degrees, which is pretty warm.
Wow.
Pretty warm?
But,
okay.
Yeah, for right now.
Okay.
This morning, I think when I woke up, it was 21. And I read somewhere yesterday that it's probably going to get down in the singles.
Well, we had that here in East Tennessee. I mean, and I have to say, Billy and I we're manly guys, and so we're used to that. That's no big deal. But
right.
Yeah, of course, out in Tennessee, though, you don't need a whole. You can get by with maybe 5 acres because it's. I mean, just from what I know, I saw out west. I mean, it's kind of sparse for the cows. I mean, as far as their grass, right? I mean,
yeah.
New Mexico, you got plenty of grass.
Yeah, we don't. We've got cows all around us because there's a rancher that's got grazing rights with all these people around us for the tax break. But it's New Mexico's a fence out state, so it's up to me to keep the bulls and the cows off of our property because they love to come in and eat all of our stuff here.
Oh.
But
wow.
But it's not desert. It's kind of mountainous around here. So, it's a lot to manage and keep up. On top of the hat business as well.
Oh,
so I'm juggling a lot of hats. So
you're wearing many hats, isn't that the expression? So when you go on tour, you mentioned that you shared the stage with the Foo Fighters and Willie Nelson. Are you obligated to give them all hats? I mean, do you have to bring hats for the other bands?
No, I don't give anybody hats because I can't afford to.
Well, but you can get an endorsement that way, can't you? I mean, marketing.
Well, the Foos don't really wear hats. I mean, I did make a hat for I made a hat for Shiflet.
Yes.
And I did make a hat for my buddy Pat Smear, but he only wears it when he's gardening at the house up at his ranch, And
okay.
But no, people generally are very supportive. They know we're a small handmade business and nobody's real, there's not a lot of like, hey man, can you hook me up? No. I do an artist discount. I like doing that for people because, I know how it is. Us artists are struggling constantly from the day we're born till the day we die.
So are podcasters, by the way. So
all right.
Can your hats
I'll do the podcaster discount?
There you go. Can your hats be seen in any television or films or anything like that?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, actually, it's amazing that you ask. I a couple of I don't even know how long ago. This whole COVID thing and then moving out here has been putting me in such a weird time warp.
I don't mean to laugh, but yeah, it's a collision of calamity.
Time warp.
Yeah.
Yeah, the time warp is insanity. But last year they had that show come out 1883.
Yes,
I don't know
great.
if you guys saw.
Oh, I love that show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was the prequel to Yellowstone.
Yep.
I love that one too.
When we were getting ready to move out here, or actually when we were starting the turmoil of trying to figure out how to buy this ranch with no money, I got a message on Instagram from a gal, and she said, "Hey, you know, I've been following you for a long time, and I'm in costume design, and I've been trying to figure out where we could use your hats, and I think I've got a perfect thing coming up. It's an offshoot of Yellowstone, and it's going to be Tim McGraw and Faith Hill."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, "Wow, yeah, that sounds interesting." And she said, "So I'll send you over, a couple of ideas." Long story short, I ended up making all those hats.
Wow.
And yeah, it was really a blessing, and really an incredible experience. And I didn't really fathom how cool it was until the show came on.
And you recognized your hats? I mean, was every hat your hat? There's a lot of hats in that.
No, I just made the hats for Tim and Faith.
Okay.
But, initially they did send me over, because at this point we were still in Los Angeles, and they were couriering stuff over to me from the studio to my place. And they said, "Okay, we're going to send you another hat, and you let us know if it's something you can duplicate." And I said, "Okay, send it over." So the gal brings it over, and I take the hat out of the box, and I'm holding this hat, and I'm looking at this hat, and it dawns on me, and I'm like, holy shit, this is Sam Elliott's hat.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and I'm holding this hat.
That's cool.
And it was like, it was almost the same feeling as when I redid a hat for Dickie Betts that belonged to I want to say Dickie Betts' grandfather.
Really? Wow.
I don't think it was even his dad's. I think it was either his dad's or his dad's hat. And when I got that hat and was holding it, I was like, I'm not even worthy to be holding this hat, let alone like redoing it. And but anyway, so it was pretty neat I didn't end up doing the Sam Elliott hats because Sam decided he wanted to just wear his own hat. So
Sam's like that. Come on, let's face it. We all know Sam. He's like that.
Yeah. I guess the next day he went in for a fitting or something, and he's like, "Where's my hat?" And they said, "Well, we sent it over to the hat maker." And he said, No. I just want to wear my hat.
Yeah.
Well, I read where Sam Elliott said that was one of the most authentic Westerns that he'd been in, which that means a lot coming from Sam Elliott. As far as the costumes and I assume you meant the hats and everything, man.
So do you get a credit? Did you get a credit at the in the credits of the show for the hats?
Well, I was supposed to. But they did put it in. Like, if people go searching to find out who made those hats, it does come up as Von Hawk hats.
Okay.
And so
we love playing with the effects here. I'm sorry, Charlie.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, it has been a quality problem of, people wanting reproductions of those hats. And for a while, I wasn't sure if I was even legally able to do that, but other people started knocking off my hats, and then I was like, screw it, I'm just going to do it.
Right.
So, I've been doing a lot of those Tim McGraw and Faith Hill hats, and I even the Elsa hat, that hat that she wore was actually just a hat from a movie prop house, and I ended up doing my own version of those hats as well, and those sell like wildfire. So, that whole thing, to answer your question, has been such an amazing blessing and quality problem.
Yeah,
in
it
itself,
seems like
you know.
you're doing quite well for yourself there. I mean, can you say as seen on Yellowstone, or that's something you got to work out legally or
Well,
something?
I can say as seen on 1883. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I'm
1883.
sorry. It was
Yeah.
1883.
Well, I know Blackberry
Yeah.
Smoke plays. They come here near us a lot, and so we met. I can't remember if you were over there, Lee. When we met Brett.
Yeah.
Brett, unfortunately, and by the way, we've been praying for him. He's been
one of my favorite people.
Yeah, and it's pretty. We're praying for him, but but those
He's
guys
going through it.
Those I know. I know those guys have that's some cool hats that you made there.
Yeah.
But, and by the way, if you ever come in our area, we do want to make sure we catch you. So I looked at your tour schedule. Of course, I'm trying to get you to the station here in East Tennessee. So you'll have to keep me updated when you can come this way to make it more feasible. So.
Man, I'll just jump in my car and drive my truck, I guess, and drive on down there anytime you guys want. It's only 14 hours.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, man, you're probably young. You can do that.
You got to leave a ranch hand to take care of the property there, though.
My lady's pretty handy.
Okay, all right.
She's got a handle on some things around here.
So, if people want to take a look at your hats or want to hear your music, how would they find you? You have a website that covers it all?
Yeah, it doesn't cover it all. I mean, there's a Lone Hawk Hats website, and there's a Charlie Overbey website, and I'm all over that Instagram thing. I mean, the Instagram is a crazy thing. What a weird animal. I mean, modern technology, as much of a beast as it is really advantageous if you use it correctly, know, and like a lot of things have come to me through that Instagram. Like I said, 1883, that came from a gal following me on Instagram.
Wow. Yeah.
And so I do a lot of stuff through the Instagram. I mean, I would have to say I post way more pictures and hats and stuff on the Lone Hawk Hats Instagram than I do on the website, because I don't know how to work a website.
Well, I don't know any of that. That's why my buddy Billy here knows everything. You should see the array of equipment here. I wouldn't know how to do any of this.
But Lee knows where the...
I know where the buttons are.
He knows where the plows and that's a scary button there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I'm hoping to get down there to see you guys soon. I mean, I am coming down there for my buddy's wedding next month. But I don't know if you guys are going to be around.
Where are you?
Vacationing and probably be vacationing in Florida, drinking drinks on the beach or something.
So you're going to Florida, is what you're saying?
No, I'm coming to Nashville.
All right. Well, everybody thinks if you're from Tennessee, you live in Nashville. There's more to Tennessee. We live south of Knoxville. Well, Billy, actually, we're in Knoxville now.
We're kind of foothills of the Smokies. Yeah,
foothills of the Smoke. It's beautiful too.
It's not bad. 2 hours drive. And, so it's not.
Yeah,
bad,
no, Tennessee is a beautiful place. I mean, if we didn't end up coming to New Mexico, Tennessee probably would have been where we would have landed.
Wow.
But there's a lot of people there, man.
Yeah. You know what? I'm just thinking off the top of my head, because we're talking about hats off the top of my head. Get it? We should open up a French.
I wish I had the sound thing on my end.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Thank you, Billy.
Or maybe, sorry, it's the wrong button.
Oh, wrong button. But I think we need to start an East Coast franchise here for Lone Hawk. I mean, where better to have a brick and mortar store than in Tennessee for Lone Hawk?
Yeah. Trust me, buddy, it's in motion. It's in motion. It is. We still have our store in Los Angeles, which is reopening. It's reopening in February. We've got a couple of little stores here now in Madrid. It's really Madrid, but they call it Madrid.
Or Madras.
Which is
Madras.
Something like that.
All right.
And it's, like I said, 30 minutes south of Santa Fe. And we're looking at opening a shop down in Nashville or somewhere on the outskirts of Nashville.
All right.
And
that'd be cool.
And a shop possibly in Austin, Texas, because a buddy of mine.
Oh, well, that's perfect, isn't it? I mean, for these hats,
me.
I mean,
yeah,
it's a natural. It's really a natural.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, hey.
So it's a lot of work, you know. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing.
No, you do know what you're doing, Charlie. It's obvious.
You're doing a good job.
Yeah, you got the hats, you got the music. You're doing something right.
Yeah, man.
I suppose. All I'm focused on right now is trying to get this new record finished and out of the can and out to people. And I'm really excited about it. You know, I mean, it's a theme record. Saturday nights and Sunday mornings. So the Saturday night side is like the boogie woogie party fun side of the record, and then the Sunday mornings is the hangover acoustic tracks.
When did you say it will be your release date? Yeah.
Well, I was hoping to release it at the end of March, but you know, at this point, we haven't set an actual release date because we're still in the studio, man. Still working on it, but I got a lot of special guests on it. You know, I've got Jerry from the Beat Farmers on some guitar, and Mathis from Lucinda's band on some guitar, and Johnny Teabags from Social D on some guitar, and Vivino on guitar. And I got a lot of special guest guitar players. You know, I'm trying to get Marcus to do one, and Charlie Starr if he's got any time to sit home and throw down some stuff. But
well, send us copies. We'll give it some attention and publicity.
Yeah,
make sure you send us copies. Yeah,
we see you're going to be in.
Can never get enough of that.
You're actually going to be in Chattanooga. I'm just looking at your tour schedule. Yeah, July. Yeah, July. Okay. Lee, we may have to go.
I'm gonna
road trip.
I'm gonna be down. I'm gonna be down there in February for Marcus's wedding, and then if you guys are around, I mean, maybe we can get together and have some barbecue or something.
Oh yeah, man.
But yeah, and then. You know, I don't know. I'm sure I'll be down there playing again soon. I did this run over the summer. It was like a 3-month thing, but it was in 3 legs. And it was like every 2 weeks we would go back out. Mm-hmm. So we did the East Coast, and then we did the South, and then we did the Midwest. But when we were down in the South, it was really awesome. I have a 16-year-old daughter who's just a phenomenal guitar player, and she's a trained violinist, and she's sponsored by Gibson. She's in that G3 group. So I brought her on tour with me, you know, out with Dwayne Betts and those guys. And we come to Nashville, and we did we played the City Winery, which was really, really fun. And we got to go do that Gibson showcase room, you know, Oh man, that was incredible.
And I saw your J45 in I think it was one of your videos or something. Man, it was cool. It was my uncle, and he was in my mom's band, 1940s, and we came back from World War II. He'd been missing in action, and the first thing he did was buy a J45. And so growing up, I played music with, so I got to play around with it my whole life. And actually, he was going to leave it in his will for me, which he was leaving it to me, but when he ended up having some grandkids, he didn't know at the time. Anyway, long story, but I just didn't think it was right.
Didn't get it.
I didn't think it was right.
Okay, hit it. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, where'd that come from?
That's right, because I just didn't think it was right for me to. I could have got it, but I didn't think it was right for me to do it because at that, when he passed away, he had grandsons. I thought, oh man, I feel so bad. And one of them was playing, so well.
Mine was my dad's, actually. That was my dad's guitar.
Oh, yeah.
47.
Oh, that's right. That's what I read. I saw that. I read that somewhere.
That's my most prized possession, honestly, besides my
Man, those are
kid,
great guitars, aren't they? I mean, oh, man, I wish I had one of those.
Yeah, I guess my kid's going to go, Dad, I'm not your possession. So I shouldn't have said it like that. But she, I don't know, whatever. But anyway, that guitar means a lot to me. And those 19 or early J45s are incredible.
Yeah, man, I wish we had more time. We scheduled a few other, get some other stuff we got to move on to here. Another episode.
It's all good.
So, but man, it's great talking to you.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Really?
Yeah, all mine. All mine.
Well, I want to learn to make a hat. So when we get off the air, send this instruction book or something.
Yeah, hang on, don't go anywhere. We're just gonna do a little outro here, and but I did.
All right.
But anyway, folks can find you at lonehawkhats.com.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, that's your hat, and then of course your Charlie Overbey as far as .com. So you got your .coms there, so that's easy. All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot. Lee, you got anything else here?
No, man. I'm kind of in awe here, and you know, congratulations on all the success, and we do hope we see you soon.
Yeah, when you come up our way, give us a shout, man.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Big thanks to Charlie Overbey, and host Lee Zimmerman.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, we appreciate it. Also, check out my partner here, Lee's book. He's Americana Music, Voices, Visionaries, Pioneers of an Honest Sound, now available on Amazon. Also, please like, share, and subscribe to My Backstage Pass on your favorite platform. We'll see you next time. Happy trails.
Happy trails.
Happy trails.
Okay.
Yeah, man, there's a tape.